Kia ora fam. So, even though I don't really go by the Western New Year, I thought that it might still be helpful just in terms of time frames to see what Source has for us collectively coming up. So I thought I'd pull as usual for the signs. So this reading is for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and we're just going to see what Source and the Divine, your ancestors, have in store for 2025. Yeah, if you want to book a personal reading, our details should be on the screen, our website. If you'd like to gift us a tip for our time and energy, we really appreciate you, and that's also on the screen. If you know where Aries, Leo, Sagittarius lies, like in your chart, like whether it's your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars, or whatever, feel free to comment down below. I'd love to know. Okay. What is coming up collectively? Now go on to my phone number for Aries, Leo, Sag. Fam. What is coming up collectively for Aries, Leo, Sag, fam? Just gonna pull from just this little deck we made. Okay, so we have this eye card. For me, this eye card is the mentor and also talks about focus. It kind of reminds me of the Hermit in the tarot, which is interesting because it is a 2025 comes like added together equals 9, and 9 is the Hermit in tarot. So first and foremost, I guess this year is really going to be for fire signs. And also I want to say, like, wherever Aries, Leo, Sag falls in your chart is where this will relate to. So for example, if it falls in your rising, this is how you relate to the world, if that makes sense. If it falls in your moon sign, that means that has to do with the world within your emotions and your intuition. If it's your sun sign, it's more just like, sun sign's quite basic. So if you only go off your sun sign, I would recommend that you dig a little deeper, because the sun is just like face value, kind of like ego identity. Doesn't mean it's not you, but it's quite basic, if that makes sense. This card says teaching, work, goals, mental health, new path, guidance, spiritual guidance, generational healing of lack, worry, survival, debt. Yeah, so I feel like fire signs, I'm going to say we because I'm a fire sign too. So we're entering into a space and time where we're really going to enter into like a deeper healing. I also heard like a deeper knowledge and wisdom when it comes to ourselves. I feel like a lot of us have already healed a lot in the last year, in 2024, and so we're going into another level of healing. I also heard another level of mystery. So there might be things that we are uncovering within our spiritual practice, what we learn about our ancestry, our whānau, ourselves, that activates something fresh and something new. We also have 1111. The doors are open for you to new opportunities, right? And then we have this 1 year card. Needs more time, give it a few seasons, solar cycle. We have Anubis. Anubis is the ancient Egyptian Kemetic like jackal neteru. They're very protective and take you into the unknown. I've written Master of Secrets, Death, Rebirth, Guardian, Loyalty, Soil, Companionship. And we also have this beautiful affirmation: I break free from toxic masculinity. I do not conform to outdated societal beliefs and ways of being. I also was going to say thinking. I am not restricted. And then we have this card that I drew, which is supposed to be the golden stool. If you're familiar with the akan or golden stools that Ghanaians that the Ashanti had, and that held the life force, or holds the life force of the tribe, the spiritual life force. I've written Ya Santiwa. I'll put their name up here. If you don't know Ya Santiwa, you can go look them up. They were a fierce warrior, and they led I think it was the Ashanti, but don't quote me on that. They led Ghanaians to fight against the British to go and get their golden stool, because the golden stool was stolen by the colonizers, as they like to do. And she went when the men would not lead as well. So there's something about the strength of the divine feminine. Maybe that's tied to this toxic masculinity energy. And I was really pointing, or my ancestors were pointing to the word fearless as well. So that seems like something that's being activated for us fire signs, is our fearlessness. And I feel like that's quite a typical fire sign trait or quality. We are usually, or can be, seen as fearless in our most positive energies. So I feel like sources are letting us know that we're heavily protected as we go into this year, as we go into the things, the unknown, the different parts of our lives where we don't know what's going to happen. Some of you might be connected to a dog, or a dog. Yeah, you might be connected to dogs, like in the spirit realm or something like that. If you do connect with Anpu, Anubis, you can always visualize, when you're feeling unsafe, you can always visualize Anpu around you, protecting you, just as like a visual. Yeah, so as we go into this new healing and cleansing, and this even learning, I feel like some of us will be like really learning and teaching. And this might not mean that we're like an actual teacher. It could just mean like the things that we're sharing with those that we love. Yeah, because the hermit is going off on their own journey to acquire knowledge and truth, and they're not afraid to go by themselves. And the typical hermit tarot card, they're holding the lamp upright in the dark. So I feel like Source really wants to reiterate we're protected this year, this 2025. And I'm seeing like the embalming with, because Anubis is connected to embalming. So I'm seeing like maybe what has passed, what is no longer needed in our life as well, is being buried. Some of us may be going in a deeper journey when it comes to our mental health as well. I don't know if that's like maybe coming again with like learning new things about ourselves or receiving counsel. So some of us might be getting some sort of like counseling, therapy, or doing something that is like therapeutic for us, for our souls, right? 1111. So this might be the number for us this year, fam. Excuse me. So whenever we see this year, I feel like Source is reminding us that the doors are open for us to new opportunities. And I feel like the toxic masculinity is what makes us think the doors are closed, right? That there's no opportunities, that we can't expand, that we have to conform to a certain way of being to survive, when really we can be whoever the fuck we want, right? And I feel like as like the old things are clearing out, like the things that we no longer serve us, the things that we've healed, that we're releasing as well. Like I was saying, that embalmment. Yeah, we're releasing restriction. So some of us might be releasing situations, people, places that make us feel that like where there is toxic masculinity. And maybe, I guess, within this whole year, like from January to December, there's going to be a real strengthening of our life force. And maybe that's what we're being called to focus on, is how can we strengthen our life force this year, our ancestral life force? How can we step away from toxic masculinity? Because for me personally, I don't believe that all masculinity is toxic. I don't believe the patriarchy has to be toxic. There are patriarchal indigenous traditions that really reverence and uplift women and the feminine as well. So something that Source has been really talking to me about lately has been, you know, that mentality of like all men are bad, or all of this is bad, or all of this is bad. I feel like Source is wanting to remind us that that's not the mentality that we're meant to have either. You know, the mentality that we're supposed to have moving forward is one of harmony. And if we've had bad experience, those are justified for sure. But I don't know, if we're living in, if we really believe that we can have harmony, then one thing doesn't always have to be unhealthy. Okay. I also heard when I started this reading something about like us like lying in the water or something, but I was seeing like quite still flowing waters, but quite still. And so maybe some of us are needing a lot of soothing or peace at this time. And with the Hermit card, we might be spending a lot of time by ourselves, or we might be just, again, like breaking free from tradition and what has been done in the past, like maybe what our family has done, or what those around us have been doing, or what we've been doing that no longer works for us. And that might look strange, or we might look like we're isolating ourselves. People might feel left behind. But that doesn't matter. I think that it's important for us to trust ourselves and trust in the guidance of Source, and to move forward and discover what needs to be discovered within ourselves, within the spirit realm. Yeah, and I think focus is required. So having those things that we no longer identify with in our vicinity are really not going to help us focus. We might also need to be patient with ourselves, because it says needs more time, give it a few seasons, you know. So it's okay for you to like give yourself a whole year, for example. Doesn't have to be that exact time frame, but a whole year to focus on something, you know. It also says protected by the spirits. Oh, it says fearless here, fearless leading, spirit of defense and war. So there are ways in which we can like fight for certain things that we want to like protect our ancestral life force, and that might be something that we have to do within our actions every day, or within our daily routine, and what we're healing ancestrally. Okay, let's pull some tarot. Some guidance to have for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius Collective 2025. We have Ace of Wands. Cool, that's us fire signs. And that's Hetu, or Hathor, known as Hathor by the Greeks. They are a Neteru of fertility. They love love, they love music, and they can also be depicted as the cow a lot of the time. So cows might be a symbol too. Cows can be really revered in certain cultures and are a symbol of abundance as well. Guidance affirmations you have for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I was going to say this full moon, no. There might be something about the next full moon coming up though, or full moons in general this year. So maybe some of you'll need to pay attention to the full moons and what's going on spiritually, or just how you're feeling, and yeah. What's coming up for 2025 for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? The World. Cool. coming up? Oh, we have Death at the base of the deck, and there's Unpu right there, Anubis. Guidance is what's coming up for Aries, Leo, Sag 2025. Strength, Leo, and Sekhmet. I'm pretty sure that's Sekhmet, who is the ancient Egyptian Kemetic Netedu of change and healing. There's a lot here, but I always talk about the story of Sekhmet and how she like was going on a wild rampage, like pretty much for divine justice, because the world was in a effed up state, right? But then Source saw that she was shedding too much blood or something like that. So I think they got her, or Ra, the sun, I think it was, saw that they were shedding too much blood and causing too much havoc, and so that they helped them transmute that into healing within community, I guess, rather than just war. I also just heard strengthening your plans. So some of you, it's 333 right now. So that might be a number for us. For me, when I see 333, that means my ancestors are nearby, which is a nice confirmation for us. But I feel like Source is telling us to strengthen our plans this year. So as we're strengthening our ancestral life force, that will look like strengthening our wisdom. So our choices, you know, making wise choices that are aligned with this focus that we all individually have. Ace of Wands, this is about motivation, creativity, a new open door towards confidence as well. So there's a lot of creativity coming through for us this year. And I feel like a lot of fertility and abundance within that, and nurture, because Heteru is the divine mother, or seen as the divine mother. So there's a lot here about like the divine feminine, but like the fierceness of the divine feminine, and then the transmuting of rage and anger and injustice into healing. Music may be something that's really helpful, that teaches us or helps with our mental health. Yeah, the world, death. So collectively, obviously, if you're paying attention, there have been some big changes, and there are some big changes like happening. Yeah, and I'm seeing us like kind of just rolling, us like rolling with the punches, or just rolling with the way that things are moving. So it's really important for us, Aries, Leo, Sag, to accept change, because the world and death are the change cards in the tarot. It's important for us to not hold on to old cycles, to let go of old cycles, and to enter into transformation. You know, death is Scorpio, so that's quite deep in terms of our emotions. And not just surface level things, like those things, like, you know, I was talking about the Hermit, like that healing of lack, that healing of survival, that healing of fear, that healing of debt, you know. And as that's transmuted, we are going to feel and be a lot stronger. Some of us might look a little bit stronger as well. But I also see us taming our rage, our anger, for some of us, our ego, a softening. I always think that when I look at Sekhmet holding the lion's face, it's like they are giving a soothing, almost like the only one that knows how to tame the lion, you know. Okay, I'll pull one more card from here. What guidance and affirmation do you have for Aries, Leo, Sag? This 2025, we have this card here. It says emotional intelligence, wisdom, and release. There may be some sorrow, hidden anxiety, nightmares, etc. Call on your divine protection before you sleep. So some of you might be getting messages and stuff within your dreams. I know I have. So maybe protection before you go to sleep is necessary. That can just be as simple as divine source and highest ancestors, may you please protect me as I sleep. May my dreams be full of peace. May I be at rest and wake up refreshed. Whatever you want, you know. Your subconscious is integrating old lessons and releasing old past wounds. Transmutation. Entering into more positive energy, success, radiance, and confidence in your uniqueness. So if you are feeling emotional, or if you are feeling like you need a cry, do so, because it's actually releasing what is pent up within you so you can enter into a deeper change. Even if you are feeling emotional and you don't necessarily know like exactly why, I feel like Source is saying you don't need to like overly focus on that. You can just let it run through you and then cleanse yourself and keep it moving.